It's that time of year, new iPhones and Apple Watches, and this year, it's a good one. First up, the standard iPhones. The iPhone 15. The standard iPhones are always kind of like last year's Pro iPhones, but slightly worse, and the same is true this year. So this year we get the A16 Bionic processor from last year's Pro iPhone, we get the Dynamic Island from last year's iPhone, and the display is brighter, with a maximum of 2000 nits for when it's sunny, just like last year's iPhone. Unfortunately, we're still stuck with a 60Hz screen on the standard iPhones, which, if you've come from a high refresh rate screen, just feels so slow and jittery. Even the cheapest Android phones have high refresh rate displays, so there's no excuse here, Apple. The design has been slightly updated with fewer sharp edges, now replaced with slightly contoured ones. The camera is very similar to the Pro iPhones from last year. So you get a 48 megapixel main camera, you get a better portrait mode, which now kicks in automatically. And what's actually pretty cool is that you can switch to focus after you've taken the photo. So if your picture focuses on one person, but you actually wanted the person in the background in focus, you can now do that. The new phones also feature a 2nd gen ultra wideband chip, which offers 3 times the distance, which is really handy if you lose your friends in public, apparently. For phone calls, you know that thing that phones used to do? There's a new voice isolation mode as well that sort of like drowns out the background noise. But none of that matters because the biggest update, a new charging port. I've been waiting for this day for so long. Finally, the new iPhones have USB-C. Rejoice, oh my god, finally. Goodbye Lightning, you won't be missed. Finally, I can use one cable to charge everything. A single cable for my laptop, for my headphones, and now for my iPhone. It's a very good day today. But to be honest, I never find the standard iPhones very exciting. I think you're better off just getting the Pro iPhone from last year, and you can probably get it for the same price as well. Okay, now onto the Pro iPhones. Apple arguably saves most of its interesting updates for the iPhone Pros, and this year, it's really good. First up, the new Pro iPhones are now made out of titanium, which should reduce the weight of the Pro iPhones, which is great. If you've ever dropped a Pro iPhone on your face, you'll understand my pain. They are actually bricks. Next, the display. Thinner bezels, getting closer to that borderless screen dream. They're the same sizes, big and small, and it has a 120Hz screen, just like last year's. This year, the mute button is sacrificed, but brings in a whole new button for the iPhone, the action button. You might have seen this on the Apple Watch Ultra, and now it's on the iPhone. It basically allows you to enable certain quick toggles. So if you press and hold, you can toggle between silent modes. You can also program it to launch your camera, or enable a shortcut, or record a quick voice memo. I think this is great, and if Apple lets developers get hold of this too, the possibilities are endless. Moving on to performance, it has a brand new A17 Pro chip, the first ever 3nm chip in an iPhone. And to no one's surprise, it has a faster CPU and GPU, and enables some new gaming experiences. I'm a gamer, just not a mobile one, but they showed off Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Village running on the iPhones. That's incredible. Console quality games running on an iPhone. What a time to be alive. Furthermore, the new Assassin's Creed game that's coming out is also going to be coming out to iPhone. This is amazing. Moving on to camera, arguably one of the most important parts of a smartphone experience. So Apple says the new cameras on the Pro are equivalent to having 7 lenses. It has a brand new 48 megapixel camera with a larger sensor than the standard iPhones. With the new 48 megapixel camera, you get to shoot 3 different focal lengths, which basically crops into the sensor, giving an equivalent of 24mm, 28mm and 35mm lenses. The ultra-wide is also slightly improved, and there's also now night mode portraits, which makes use of the LiDAR sensor. Now onto the zoom lens, arguably the most neglected one over the past few years. Well, if you wanted the smaller Pro iPhone, you get a very unexciting 3x zoom. But the Pro Max gets a brand new 5x zoom lens, with a larger sensor, which is also backed up by a new stabilization system. It's so refreshing to get a more capable zoom lens on the iPhone Pro Max this year. It's just a shame they couldn't make it possible on the smaller iPhone. You can also capture spatial videos on the new Pro iPhones, perfect for when you get your Vision Pro headset next year. And of course, USB-C has made its way onto the Pro iPhones too, which is fantastic. It's a more capable USB-C port than the standard ones and has a max transfer speed of 10 gigabits. With this faster USB-C port, you can now record onto external hard drives, which for videographers is going to prove invaluable. Both iPhones are available to pre-order Friday and out September 22nd. Now swiftly moving on to the Apple Watches, we have a new Series 9 and a new Apple Watch Ultra. The Series 9 looks exactly the same as last year, but now in pink. For the first time in a few years, we actually get a new chip inside of the Apple Watch, which is the new S9 chip, which is faster, so animation should be really smooth, although they were already really smooth. It has a new neural engine, which makes machine learning tasks 2 times faster. This enables many of the Siri requests to be processed on device rather than to the cloud. Dictation is more accurate, and you can now access health data with Siri. So you can ask things like, what are my fitness rings like? How much sleep did I get? The new chip also has the 2nd gen ultra wideband chip, the same one we saw in the new iPhones. So now you can locate your iPhone as if it were an AirTag. And also you get the ability to transfer media from your watch to a nearby HomePod. The screen on the new Apple Watch is much brighter at 2000 nits, but also conversely it goes much dimmer, so you can now use it in the dark with a minimum brightness of 1 nit. Now, the coolest thing about the new Apple Watch is by far the new gesture, and this is clearly inspired by the new Vision Pro. There's a new double tap gesture, where you tap your thumb and index finger together, which enables you to use some elements of your Apple Watch even when your other hand is engaged. So you can answer a call, you can control certain actions in apps, you can launch the brand new Smart Stack, and this is all powered by the new neural engine. And finally, accessories. If you're a fan of Apple's leather bands, well, they're no more. As part of their sustainability efforts, Apple is no longer making them. But they've replaced it with a new fine woven material, and to be fair, they do actually look really nice. And moving on to the Apple Watch Ultra 2, it shares the same new S9 chip as its little brother, the Series 9, which means it has all of the new features as well, such as the double tap feature. It also has a new display, even brighter than the Series 9 at 3000 nits. It carries over the same long-lasting battery life as last year's. More recycled materials are used in its construction, and the Ultra bands now come in a larger variety of colours. Both of these are available to order today, and they're out September 22nd. So maybe less exciting than the big product launches of the new iPhone and Apple Watch is sustainability, and Apple had such a large focus of sustainability inside their keynote today. Some of Apple's biggest sustainability efforts include the new Apple Watch being their very first carbon neutral product. They're now shipping more and more of their products via ocean, and they're no longer using leather in any of their products. It's great to see such a large company put such emphasis on sustainability. Now, they're not perfect. It'd be great if their products were more repairable, if you could replace the battery yourself, or if a screen breaks, you could easily swap it out for a new one. But it's still a solid effort. So that's the new iPhones and Apple Watches, and personally I think it's a pretty good upgrade this year, at least for the Pro iPhones. Let me know what you think about their new products in the comments below, and until then, a like and subscribe would be incredible, and I'll see you next time.